for generations. A Dyad in the Force.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dyad in the Force, episode 93. Getting up there, getting close to 100. I haven't told Choco this yet, but I'm planning and want to plan episode 100 to be a cookout, an IRL cookout, where we get as many people as we can together that is in the area, in the vicinity, and if you're in town at that date, for a barbecue. I mean, we both don't have spaces for a barbecue, but we could, relatively go to like an area in one of the parks in LA for a barbecue or a cookout and just hang out. Just have like an episode where we're all just hanging out. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 93. We're joined by two new faces to Dyad in the Force. And we'll start with Suhaila. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Where can people find your content, and what do you talk about in your content?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm Suhaila. So most of my content's on TikTok. I do a lot of reaction videos, crazy theories for shows I'm watching, and then I've also recently started posting about the earrings that I'm making. So I make earrings that match the shows that I'm watching. So yeah, you can find me on TikTok. I also recently started up a Twitter, and hopefully I'll get a shop open very soon for the earrings.
Awesome. Are those ANDOR earrings?
They are.
Awesome. Yeah. And your TikTok is at
Suhaila.
Yeah.
Suhaila.
I was emoting the silence. And Amber, how about you introduce yourself?
I'm Amber. And I generally, if I'm making content, talk about Star Wars sometimes, but I'm kind of random. I don't have a niche. So you can find me on TikTok at Amber and Medina, or occasionally I'm wandering around on Twitter at Amber West.
Awesome.
Is there?
Go ahead.
And I'm trying to recall if you've already published it or in the process from writing.
I am a published author. I have 2 books that are published.
So why don't you shout those out as well?
Because I'm terrible at it, but thank you. You can find my books under Amber West on Amazon. They are cozy mysteries, and at some point I'll probably write some more.
Awesome. Are they a series, or are they just kind of like isolated?
The 2 that are currently published are part of a series.
Awesome. I'm definitely gonna try to give those a read. It's not really known, but random is its own niche, and it's a relatively welcome niche. It's just that Choco and myself are pronounced lore masters in the Star Wars, and that's just what we do. But Choco got some Marvel and stuff, comics fandom going on. Choco, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. It's hot over here. I don't know what's going on, but I have been on cloud 9 off of this Andor buzz, because I'm having really good time with the series and with the conversations surrounding it. So we'll be able to get some more into it.
I gotta ask: does your office have a window, and is it very cloudy?
It is not very cloudy, no.
Okay, because it looks like one of those the lighting situations where like the clouds go over the sun, and then it gets darker, and then like they reveal the sun, and it gets lighter.
Oh, is it going up and down?
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost positive that it might be an auto exposure thing, but it's besides the point. I'm just highly observant. What's up to the chat? Let's catch up with the chat. We have St. Pat, Star Wars Sag. Shout out to Sag, who's been doing a lot of like the High Republic filters, and just in general the Star Wars filters that we like to, do every once in a while. Thank you for tuning in.
Killing it with the filters.
Kenny, Darthman86, what's up, everyone? And Darth Choco's in the chat as well. And Connor, Jordy Jedi, a good friend of the channel. What a good batch. Yes, I'm excited to have you guys on. It's we have 2 new faces, of course. And we're here to talk about Andor, the newest Star Wars buzz to hit the town. And it's a very loud buzz. And I'm wondering, before we get to Andor, how you guys feel about the show in general so far. And jump in whenever you have something to say.
I love it. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love it. So far, it may be my favorite.
Geordie Jedi super chatted a $2.25 ramen drop. Yes, super shit. Great guests today, folks.
Thank you, Connor, for that ramen drop. That's 2 pounds of it. Not literally, but thank you for the super chit. Great guests today, folks. I think they meant today, but that read like a 2-day shipping. What's up to Eric Carter? Spy thriller Star Wars. That is correct. Kiasko Hetcher says, good evening. What's up? Andor is what's up. I don't know if you've seen all 3 episodes, Kiasko, but I would definitely love to know what you thought about it. Let's go on to announcements really quickly before we kind of rocket into our main segment. If anybody has any announcements to share with everyone, and if not, we can move on straight into the main segment. Does anybody have any announcements to share? Suhaila, anything about your upcoming shop for what you make?
Yeah, not yet. I'm in the process of getting the shop set up, and as soon as that's done, I will post it all over TikTok.
Awesome.
But if you have noticed, there are amazing earrings, both in the Star Wars and Lord of the Rings realms. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Absolutely. And Star Wars Sag says, I appreciate it. Excited to hear the discussion. Right on, and we will have a discussion. This is what everyone is talking about every single day. Choco had Neve, or R2-She2, and Carly King, or Big Daddy Yankee, and Alden Diaz on to talk about Andor on the high ground recently. And we're just gonna keep things rolling at this point. Suhaila was on Twitter and just put herself out there. Hey, if anyone wants to hear me rant about, or not rant, but talk about Andor, let me know. And that's
little did she know, we were already aware.
Yeah. Let's see here. Announcement for me. Okay, so Connor says my new cosplay is coming in 3 days. Which cosplay is that, Connor? Because I know you told me about a whole host of different cosplays, but I don't know which one you're talking about. Choco, are there any other announcements? Possibly what's going on next week on High Ground?
Yeah, like I said, High Ground is going to still be focused on Andor rather than picking random topics. I really wanted to keep branching out. Like, I feel like we branched out a lot, but then kind of slowed down on getting new faces on, and it's because it's really difficult if I don't know if someone knows about a specific topic, so that limits my inviting pool. But this, all you need to do is have seen the show. So, so I'm going to be kind of sticking with that for now. Should you want to do it, we didn't talk about this before the show, but on on StarWars.com, they did put up another quiz of which droid should your counterpart be. I dropped a link in our little Discord just in case we might want to do it. There's been some pretty cool little additions to the droids in Star Wars. Specifically that droid that's just stairs. I don't know why it made me
Let's take this quiz really quickly, if you guys are able to.
All right, I will go ahead and drop a link in the YouTube chat.
We're gonna drop the link in the chat, Connor. Casco Hetcher says, I sure did. I love the premise. Yeah, it's a relatively new premise with Tony Gilroy, and we're probably gonna have our guests for sure. Probably gonna have a lot to say about it. And you guys are also welcome, Suhaila and Amber, to sign up for. You guys are in the server now to sign up for any of the watch parties as well. We are having a watch party every week at 11:30. It starts. What time zone are you guys at, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm Eastern.
Same.
Oh, okay. So you guys have it rough.
Yes, we do.
Unfortunately.
Did you guys watch Andor the day of, or did you watch it at like 3 a.m. your guys' time?
Yeah, I watched it later that day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I didn't do 3 a.m. for 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I woke up early and I watched 2, and then I watched the last one after work.
Oh, awesome. We have some friends of the channel who only planned 1, and that was a failure because they ended up watching all 3. But I feel your guys'
Failure or
pain.
success? I don't know.
Okay, so I guess the first question: how would you describe yourself? And wow, limited choice.
Yeah, these choices are not mutually exclusive. So
Yeah,
I'm very introverted, but I'm also loyal and I'm friendly.
and can be extroverted in the right environment.
Yeah.
No, I'm
I
still
only
pretty introverted.
overthink these things.
I mean, come on now. You in the right environment. I say that because at Celebration, at karaoke night, with a couple of we had
I can
tequila
dance and
bottle
have fun.
service.
I just don't.
He doesn't get
It
energy
robs
from
me.
it.
Yeah, it robs me of energy. And then like the next day, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go be in my room.
Got it. All right. So I mean,
Lots of us introverts are socially adept.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say.
Crash after.
I'm just gonna say friendly. How would others describe you?
Distinguished. No, I'm gonna
Yeah, I mean,
go with calming. I think I've been told I have a calming demeanor.
a lot of people tell
Your
me.
videos are very calming.
A lot of people tell me that I should do ASMR. And I think that lines up with calming. For sure, other people have said I've been distinguished, but that's not a consistent thing. I can definitely not be distinguished at times. So I'm gonna go with calming too. Kenny got
I feel like
L3.
you need a monocle to be distinguished or something like that, or salt and pepper
Top hat.
sideburns or something.
Top
I don't
hat.
know. Yeah,
That
the
makes
closer
sense.
you look like Mr. Peanut, the more distinguished you are.
How would you spend a long weekend? Wow, really? At a political rally? I mean, if that's your thing.
That sounds awful.
See, now at home with family would probably be a good answer if I could choose which family. Now, it's not to say that I'm like, I really hate my family, but hey, just like Dom Toretto, if I could have my extended family there, that would be a good weekend. I'm gonna say in nature. What did you guys go with?
I don't remember. I already finished it.
What about you, Sila?
I think I said traveling with a friend. I would also
Gotcha.
travel solo, but that wasn't an option.
I think that's what I went with too, Suhaila.
Kiosko said a family. Where would you go on vacation? Somewhere I've never been. I think that's the only answer. I'm just kidding, but it's what I'm going to choose.
That is also what I chose.
Same.
What is the most likely reason someone would be upset with you?
I said something I shouldn't have.
Probably. Although you could say I did something rude, because more often than not, it's something that I did that I did not think was rude, but someone was offended by it, and thus, rightly so, they get upset. I guess I'll say because it does have the same kind of impact as said something I shouldn't have.
I feel like one can contain the other, but not necessarily the other way around. Yeah. I get in trouble for saying things I shouldn't say, but I don't ever get in trouble for being rude. Not really.
Lauren got C-3PO, and I think that matches, right? Isn't that your favorite character, Lauren? Oh yeah, Lauren, you're in the area, right? We're planning the cookout.
Lauren's going to school in New York.
Oh, that's right. Hey, but if you're in the area during episode 100, we're going to be doing a cookout, hopefully. It's the current plan. I don't know how Choco feels about it, but I don't care how he feels about it because that's what we're doing. What lesson has helped you succeed? Give voice to the voiceless.
Yeah, be brave even when you're afraid is also a good one, but I'd rather uplift others.
Yeah. I'm currently in New York. I'll either be back in November or December. I think that's when episode 100 happens. I think it's the second week of November. Let me know, Lauren. Just have episode 100 on the East Coast. Listen, we're saving up for London here, people.
Who would you like to share a home with?
Now, the introvert in me is I'd rather live alone. But
I want to choose that. I don't think my wife would let me. So I'm going to choose my family.
Yeah. I'll say my best friend. What did you guys go with? Or are you just holding on to your results?
Oh yeah, no, they.
I think I went with best friend.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, hey, it's coming from the West Coast. The East Coast's travel is a pretty penny. What's your favorite Star Wars ship? I'm gonna have to go with the Ghost.
I was between Ghost and X-Wing. I went X-Wing.
Connor
I kind of
chose.
feel like we're gonna get the same result, Pep.
Yeah. We'll see. You're shopping for a friend. What's the perfect gift?
What friend?
Yeah.
I know. See,
I don't buy gifts based off of what I would want. I buy it based off of what I think they would
yeah, because it depends,
Yeah.
right?
You know?
Because if I answered their favorite food, right, it depends on what it is. Like if their favorite food is M&Ms, I'm not gonna give them M&Ms for their, for a gift. Although I could probably get them like a huge
Give them
tub of
something
M&Ms.
practical.
I'm gonna say quality time spent together, because that could mean several things. Like we can have like an outing, like a day outing, and then I could buy them something as a gift on that outing. What's a situation you find challenging? When people don't do as I say. I'm just kidding.
I don't know that I find any of these challenging.
Yeah.
No. I've traveled. I've experienced change.
Oh, my life has just been constant change.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever decorated a room until this year or until I moved here because I've had so much change. I guess I'll say travel because that's what I've done the least.
Financially challenging, perhaps? You could say. I mean, look, listen, I'm not very authoritative. And when someone's nervous, it's not like I'm like, oh, this is the hardest thing in the world for me to do. It's just like they're nervous. What do you want? Yeah, we'll go with travel because that's, there are several factors that go along with that. Okay, so on the count of 3, everyone's going to reveal the results. 1, 2, 3. BB-8.
B2EMO.
Okay, so Suhaila, you got BB-8?
I got BB-8, yeah.
Amber, you got B2?
So did I.
Awesome. Hey, listen, it's the power of 2.
It works out
awesome.
well with the dyad.
Yeah.
Are we meant to see your screen, Pep, or not? No, this was impromptu. I didn't have time to set up the screen share on it, but I did get BB-8. You're just going to have to take my word for it. And if you don't, I'm going to have a real problem because I don't deal well with people who don't do as I say. Let's see what other people got. Connor got B2. Kenny got L3. Kiosco got B3. I don't know if that was an option. Maybe he just meant B2. Awesome. I like BB-8. I think BB-8 is my favorite droid. I think my favorite moment, one of my favorite moments from the sequels is the lighter thumbs up, which is just adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to, and now before we move on to the main segment of the show, I have to warn you guys that this is going to be a thing that happens because it is a meme.
Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor.
Cassian Andor. This is something that we say all the time. So let's move on to the main segment, Andor 1, episode 1 through 3. And this is a very, I wouldn't say controversial question, but I would like to know your guys' thoughts on it, which is basically, does Andor feel like Star Wars to you? Now, whatever feels like Star Wars means is completely up to you. I just want to know how you answer that question and take it away. We'll start with Suhaila.
Yeah. I wasn't really sure how to answer that one because a lot of it does feel like Star Wars, and then there's elements of it that don't feel like Star Wars. Not in a bad way, but it still feels like it's within the same universe, but a very different take on it, which I'm actually really enjoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like elements of it, but it's not like your typical Star Wars story that's like really like action filled, like flashy things, but it still feels like it's still part of that same universe.
Perfect. Amber?
I do feel like it feels like Star Wars, but in a completely new way. It feels like seeing a Star Wars novel. It feels like a Star Wars book. It feels meatier. It feels very intentional and deliberate with everything that we're given, which is more like reading a book. But it's not necessarily a story that's been told in that exact way, at least not from the books I've read so far. So it does feel like Star Wars in that sense, as far as what we've seen so far. The music is really loud in my headset, like louder than everybody.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little loud for me as well.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, sometimes it's like the last song started going off randomly. It was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Is it
like
is
right
it,
now?
It's
But
loud
it's not
now?
super loud in the stream because I
Okay.
muted and listened over there, so
Okay.
that was
So it's
interesting.
just in here.
But we are back live. So
Yes,
you can
we're
go ahead and
back.
finish us. You were saying it feels more like a book?
Yeah, to me it feels more like a book, and I love that because I think it's taking its time, which generally Star Wars on the screen does not take its time. And I prefer stories that take their time. So I really, really love this a lot. So it's a little bit of, yes, it totally feels like Star Wars, and no, in that it doesn't feel like what we've seen on the screen.
Ah, okay. Is the music still loud?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
That was weird. Let me pause it really quickly.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I'm in the same boat, and I think it's interesting because I've heard the conversation that it doesn't feel like Star Wars at all for them, and some people have trouble with that. And when I think back to like reading books in the expanded universe, so much of them revolved around the Skywalkers and stuff like that. That if that was more of your era, and I can definitely understand that, but reading a lot of the canon books, like Thrawn, Alphabet Squadron, the Queen's books, Prince of Alderaan, Bloodline, Rebel Rising, Catalyst, Phasma, all of those books don't center on the Force or Jedi or anything like that. All of those books are straight up either sci-fi themselves, or we're just following the regular people in the galaxy. And that's exactly what this does. This just gives us more of a spy thriller angle on it, versus something like Phasma, which is Mad Max in space, which is awesome. You should check out that book if you haven't.
How's the music now?
It's still pretty loud.
Okay. We can do without it. Let's see here. Everyone's saying we're back. Your live is back now. Stuff went blank for a second. Looks good now. My quick summary of Andor: loved episodes 1 and 2. As a whole, 1 was kind of strange and I didn't like it or dislike it. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to solve this problem, because some weeks it just doesn't happen and now it just does.
Maybe it's your firewall.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at it. Apparently, maybe it could be. I might have several instances of it on my firewall. Awesome. So what is the highlight of Andor for you so far right now?
Bix. I mean, what?
Oh, you mean her?
I mean, you can't really disagree with that.
Not disagreeing at all. Although I chose that frame specifically because, like, every time we mention her, she'd be like, "Really?" But
She's awesome.
for real though, like, the highlight so far.
It's really hard to choose.
Yeah.
Hey, if you have multiple
Because-
ones, go for it.
There's so many things that I love. I love that they're continuing with how one of the things I loved about Rogue One was, in so much of Star Wars, at least on the screen, we get very black and white characters. This person is good and they do good things. This person is bad and they do bad things. This person is good but is conflicted by the bad. But it's all very, like, kind of everything is in neat little boxes. And Rogue One, almost everyone falls in the gray, and I loved that because it was interesting and it was more real. And I feel like this show is continuing to lean into that idea that characters, good or bad, they make choices, and seeing it from their POV. There are characters that I love to hate in this show, but we're seeing why they do the things that they do already. And I'm really enjoying seeing that. And even things that seem like they should be, for example, Marva taking young Cassian from the Canary.
Yeah.
I think, depending on your point of view, you may look at that as, wow, she saved him. And then if you look at it another way, you're going, oh, she kidnapped that child and took him away from his people. Like, it's a little like it really depends on how you're viewing it and your point of view. And that really affects how you consume this story, because almost every character, I've seen people try to people talk about Tim and his choice and try to justify, like, oh, he did it because he loves Bix and he's trying to protect her. And I obviously don't feel that was at all the case. But again, it depends on the point of view that you're coming at it. Like, someone can look at that and really feel like, oh, he loves her and he was trying to protect her. And you're going to have someone else that's like, no, that's not at all what love and protecting someone looks like. So every character is really making people kind of sit in kind of an uncomfortable space and think about every choice that's being made. And that overall I love, but I could like go into a million things like this. So I'm gonna, Suhaila, I want to hear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it off because I will keep going.
Yeah, no, the show really does make you think. I think the things that I've been really enjoying is, well, I don't want to say slower pace, but I want to say kind of more real view into people's lives. So you actually get to like follow them, in their day to day. Like there was a whole sequence where we're seeing people closing up shop at night, and where Bix is going, and all of that. Like she was over to Tim's place, and even before that, like you get to see kind of like that. And then the next morning, the guy with the hammer, you get to see both him at night and in the morning. Like you get to see that continuation of the story, and not just centered around the main characters, which we're seeing a lot of, but we do get to still see glimpses of all of these other people in the town, other people in this story, that just makes them feel really real. And it feels like we're kind of living the story alongside them, as opposed to just being transported between one major event to the next. So I'm really enjoying that. And the other thing that's been blowing me away is the music. Just, it's been so on point every single time, right from the very beginning, the first few notes. Like when we see B for the first time, like that music just reminded me of Wall-E. When we see, when we see Andor, that gave me like Tron vibes, and Blade Runner as well, with the music, as well as the visuals with the music as well. And there's some parts, end of episode 2, when we see Cassian kind of walking through the scrapyard, and there's that really intense music that reminds me of Sherlock, the BBC show, and just like the very intense, something's afoot kind of thing. It's like the music's just those like little notes that they use, and the big sounds that they're using, and the way that they're tying everything together, and the opening sequence every single time being different, kind of setting the tone for that episode. It's just all been so amazing. It like tugs at my brain in like this very satisfying way. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's just been amazing. And it's something that I haven't felt in Star Wars like so far, in any of their like TV media, whether it's the movies or the shows, but they've been doing a phenomenal job with it.
Yeah. One of the things that Disney, or what they're doing now with music, that I appreciate a lot is the creation of motifs around different themes, right? We obviously, very obviously, have the Skywalker saga, and now we have Book of Boba Fett. Boom, boom. What's the Book of Boba Fett one?
Hey.
Yeah.
And then we have the Mandalorian, and now we have something that is very like thriller-esque that could very well, continue on to other shows of the same theming. And I just like, I get the same feeling from John Williams that I do when at the very end, when the music swells and it's showing him being taken earlier in his life, paralleling him being taken in the present time. And that music is just very, very beautiful. Let's see here. Do you guys do call-ins? I've been exploring this a lot in my research on how to do this. And I might do that in the future, but more or less you can just type what you want to say in the chat and we'll address it. This is a very chat focused show. Lauren says, yeah, I find the parts of Andor that feel weird to me are just areas of Star Wars we haven't seen before, but I don't feel out of place in the universe. Just something new to learn about and experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, Choco's simping for the Morbius Doctor. We all simp for the Morbius Doctor. I mean, happy Bix.
Yep.
Let's see.
Both premieres, I went. So, and in person.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's good. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's these themes that are just really standing out to me, and the show's not pulling any punches. It's pretty damn on the nose, where we start out with these, corporal authority figures that are absolutely in the wrong, right? You're essentially a cop for this town on duty, but you're at a brothel getting drunk, and the people who run it don't want you there, right? But they allow it because you're abusing your authority there, and then they try to shake down just a random dude, and stuff like this happens. But in that moment, they don't play it as heroic. They don't play it as Cassian did something right. It's actually pretty shocking, and he has to go on the run. So the way, and this kind of goes back into what Amber was saying, is all of these people are portrayed making very human choices. And so even when you get Kyle Soller's character, his name is not coming to my mind right now. He thinks that what he's doing is right. We obviously see by the results and the lengths that he's willing to go in order to do it that he's very much in the wrong. But we can see each and every person's point of view. We can understand and sympathize with Tim being, a jealous little, something.
Hey, we're an MA show. You can say it. Just say it. He's a bitch.
But we can understand why what he did wasn't right. At the same time, and but it was very human, and so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, just the thought that like Tim had knowingly betrayed her trust right before sleeping with her. That's like, you already know that is like a douche move right there. And to expound further on Suhaila's point of, seeing everyday people in the Star Wars universe, it's kind of like, what this show has that other shows haven't so far is the long form is actually a promised long form, whereas Kenobi is a limited series. This one has already a season 2 renewed, and so we have a lot of time. And I like to draw this parallel with Rings of Power. What we have of Lord of the Rings thus far is plot. We have to go from here to there always and fast. Whereas here, we get like 10 minutes at the dinner table with Disa, Durin, and Elrond, and we get to live in that space for 10 minutes. We don't normally get to do that. So, with Andor, we get to see these workers and these everyday people living their lives and how they're affected by the corpos. And I guess one of the highlights for me was the clanging. And just the build
That's what a
up.
reckoning sounds like.
Yeah, and the build up to that
that
moment where she's like, you only have to care about it when it stops. And like when it stopped, that was a palpable moment. That was the loudest, one of the loudest silences in all Star Wars. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that was a really powerful sequence, seeing this town come together. Like as soon as they land, they're hunting for somebody, even the words that they're using, for what these people are doing there and that they don't belong and they don't want them there. And I loved when they messed with the ship. and it like and attached something to it. Like you can see that like nobody. It doesn't matter what if they're not coming for you. That's not the point. It's like they're not welcome here, and they've all kind of made that point clear time and time again. And even seeing like them outside of Marva's place when they're exiting and they're like, leave her alone, like that entire scene was very powerful.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's another point against Tim, because their culture on that place,
Yep.
he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just hate Tim these days.
I'm with you.
Oh no, I'm right there with you.
I'm with you. It was because it's such a community. Like you can see, Bix wouldn't have been. She's not the only one that is upset that he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Even the
very
other guy that
much.
was with her.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's very much a community, and the method of communication with using the clanging, and I do love that it's a nod. Well, I would assume it's a nod to that's been a form of protest in different Latin American countries. In Cuba, they did that when Fidel died. They've done it I think in Ecuador with the education protests. Like I can't remember the Spanish word because I am a mostly no sabe kid. So, but there is a word for that where it's basically they bang on pots and pans. They bang on casserole dishes when they're protesting. And to see that in that context was really cool to see like that community coming together against the power, the powers that be was like really well done.
Yeah. I'd really like to know the person that's on Tim's side and why they were Team Iron Man.
I actually had someone. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like I've heard people defending Tim.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
One of the comments I had was, I don't know if my girlfriend had her ex repeatedly come around and it makes her distressed every time, and I found out he's a dangerous fugitive. But and I didn't respond to it, and I'm not going to. But like, at no point was she distressed. She was pretty self-possessed and badass, and that's actually something I really enjoy about her character is they did make her fully realized and having her own stuff. Like she's not
she has agency.
She's not a prop to someone else. And they make that very, very clear. And she's the one that initiated things with Tim. And, at no point do they play her femininity as a weakness, which is not something that you often see. We actually have been getting it, in Star Wars, especially with like Rey and stuff. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, especially given the fact that she was, like you said, she wasn't in distress. He came for help, and she was, voluntarily helping. And man, let me just put this up again.
Yeah.
Just
she
to
can
balance
take care of herself.
Yeah. Just to balance things out, we have this too.
Yeah.
Which then leads to
Cassian Andor.
But yeah, also the to continue on the music thing. I really loved that scene where they had the morning rooster bell guy, and the bells that he was playing played into a pitch that went straight into the score. And that's something you don't get very often. Environment, like what is it called? Diegetic versus what's the opposite of that? Do you know? Non-diegetic?
Regular. I know.
It's just the diegetic audio versus non-diegetic, where like it's just the sounds in the environment play straight into the score. I thought that was breathtaking.
It's like we just got a fat drum beat, like that's as a longtime drummer myself, I was very much eating that up. And something we don't often get in Star Wars is drums in general. So yeah, that was awesome.
Kisko says it's refreshing to see Star Wars take a more adult tone. I really enjoyed that first episode. Yeah, there was a couple of comments that I was reading about it being kind of surprising that there was a curse. I don't know where they cussed in the episode. Maybe I'm just desensitized. Episode 3. What was
Just
the?
Yeah. Just after that ship crashed.
Was it the Linus guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it shit?
Yeah, because they're like, oh, they're behind us or something. Like, because the ship crashes out in the distance, and he's like, where are they? And they're like, that puts them behind us or something.
Okay.
I think that was where it was. I didn't even notice because everything was just going so quickly in that sequence.
I mean,
I have to go back and look for it.
I see the point because there's a lot of cussing that is in universe, criffing, dank ferric, that stuff. But it's it's shit. Like it's pretty natural.
To me, it played the same as Han saying, "Then I'll see you in hell." I know that's that was Empire.
Some of my friends who don't like Star Wars, gasp, I know, right? Loved Andor and will watch every episode that comes out. That's part of that's part of the appeal of getting these directors that do very different things from Star Wars.
Yeah, I think it's super duper necessary because of the amount that we're getting. Because Star Wars would be overdone if it's the same type of project each and every time. So we need to play around in these different genres, and that's what keeps it feeling fresh. But at the same time, it's still very has the same heart and childlike heart, because you still have moments where the Corellian Hound is trying to pee on B2. Yeah. You still have B2's like, oh, it takes extra energy to lie. It's like, oh well, that's 2 lies. You still have the big guy who's like, he just told me to stand here.
Vetch. Shout out to Vetch on that one.
Yes.
There's that weird creepy guy that was just like hopping around and like running around the background like a toddler. I need to make a video on just that guy. He freaks me out.
This show is just full of charming people.
Yeah. There's also that like moment between 2 people, like when Cassian is trying to get a ship, and there's like that little alien, who again we don't understand, but then like you tell that the 2 of them are just bickering and yelling at each other all day long. I just love those dynamics.
The world building was truly amazing. Yeah, I mean, the show is doing a lot of things right, and I find very little fault in the show so far. Actually, I know there will be some people who have problems with the pace. I don't think I have any issues with the pacing at all. I think even as someone who's aware that point A to point B is going to be a journey. I think the journey so far, the in between there's a lot happening in between. I mean, we have
Cassian Andor.
Luthen. Let's talk about Luthen really quickly.
I was just gonna say, I love how they introduced him to us. Like the little moments of, again, like seeing his journey in little bits and pieces, as opposed to seeing a ship and then bam, he's there. Which is like typical Star Wars. Like you just see a ship coming in and then the person's where they need to be. But like seeing him in the ship, talking to his ship, and then getting on that transport, having that whole one-sided conversation with the salesman or whoever it was. Like all of that, like it was so awesome to see, and then like chatting with Biggs, and then finally meeting Cassian.
Yeah, something I don't think about often, but like, because I always love to think about like the in-between moments. When you see a ship like approaching a planet, you know how many hours it would take from that point to them landing? You know what I mean? I know, but it's like, all right, he just landed. Like, what if he came out on the wrong side of the planet and you have to circle the globe? I don't know. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
It depends, man. little things like that. How big is that planet in circumference? You know, could they circumnavigate in like 2 hours? We don't know. What do you think of Luthen, Amber?
I feel the same as Suhaila. I like the way that they brought his character in. It wasn't just dropping him in. We kind of got the slow build up. I'm super curious actually about, because Bix's communication with him, I don't imagine it's just to sell him parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like her having to go up in the tower and everything. So that makes me wonder what exactly is her awareness of what it is that Luthen does. Not that we as the audience really know, but we've got hints in what direction we're going with his character. And I mean, I like, there's so many characters that I really love that right now it's just like Luthen is interesting to me, but not like, he's not the standout that some other characters are for me. Right now he's just, right now for me, he's a vehicle to other characters' stories, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Right now he's a vehicle for a meme. But, I mean, for us, I mean, it's an inside joke really, but I think he is more than we expected. I kind of expected him to be kind of like a spoiled, rich kind of politician that's like dipping their toes in rebellious thoughts. But no, he's a full-on badass, and I love his like rules that he's giving Andor in that moment. You know, build your exit on your way in.
That moment.
I want to know why he has those rules. What led up to that?
Yeah.
How did that guy?
What experience?
Yeah, exactly. What's his life experience that made him have to come up with those kinds of rules and know how to execute those kinds of rules properly?
Yeah. Who do you think taught them the rules, Mon Mothma or Saw Gerrera? Or someone else?
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna say neither. I'm gonna say his life has forced him to learn some of these things, and I think he's going to be the go-between between the two, because Cassian is going to understand or have to decide what type of spy he's going to be. If he's going to go onto the more militant side with Saw, who will just unalive people for no reason, or try to be more moral. Obviously he ends up somewhere in the middle, but I think that's what he's mostly a vehicle. But he was very badass, like surprisingly so. And also his ship is quite awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sag says bail, or just kidding. Hey, you never know.
I mean, honestly, in my head, when you asked the question, I was like, I want it to be bail just because I want more bail. But
Yeah. No, for sure. He's definitely a breath of fresh air. I didn't think I was going to like him as much as I did. For me, Bix, I think Bix is already in the fight. You know, I think she doesn't let on too much because Andor's on the run, and the life that he leads for himself so far tends to run amiss with the law. And so she doesn't really put herself out there, but I think she's in the fight already.
Well, I wonder if she's the one who gave Luthen the information about Cassian, because he seems to know quite a bit, and she was the one that was saying he wants to meet Cassian, right? So it seems like she knows more of what he's also doing, and then could potentially be helping kind of in a smaller way, maybe not really in the fight, on the front lines, but kind of helping in the periphery.
Yeah.
My active theory is that she's in the fight, but she doesn't know she's in the fight.
Oh, she's just helping Luthen?
She's circumventing, the Empire and the Corpos and all these in order to traffic parts in and out. I think she's probably a reliable supplier, and has let out clues about people and stuff without knowing that the people who are buying these parts are using them to build up their rebellion.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
I like that. I like that.
So are you of the thinking that the rebellion right now is very much not an alliance, but like just a bunch of like smaller parts that have yet to reach Gestalt?
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking that it's going to be similar to because we see that in Rebels where only Hera knows that there are other people, and she doesn't even know how many other people or where they are or any of that other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Interesting.
Or maybe...
I wonder if Andor...
Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was going to say, I wonder if his story over, like, the seasons that we're going to get, he's going to kind of almost be, you know, interacting with each of his people and possibly even being, like, a bridge between some of them.
Yeah. I mean, perhaps Andor is thrust upon varying different cells in the like rebel resistance movement, right? And he goes into Saw's cell and then experiences like the extreme parts, and then he's thrown into like Mon Mothma's like part, and then maybe Bix has her own cell that is like just operating out of that planet and with that like community, because for sure they're anti-Corpo for sure, and Corpo is just an arm and a leg away from the Empire, and that's an interesting angle to think about.
I do have kind of a question for everyone. What is the over the under on Cyril defecting? Do we want to see him be so concentrated on justice that when the Empire comes, he sees that this ain't it and defects, or is he going to lean so hard into it and be like, I've invested so much, you know? Where are you guys out with that?
I think he's going to try to justify what happened for himself at least, and so defecting, I think like he would have to admit to himself that he did all of this wrong. And so I think he would kind of, well, he's going to have to answer to what he did anyways, because people, especially on his side, you know, died, right? If it was people on the other side, it wouldn't be as big of an issue, but you know, his own employees died, so he's going to have to answer to that, and then he's going to have to kind of deal with that. And I kind of want to see the Empire sort of chew him up and spit him out. Nothing against him, I just want to be able to see that as a story of like, it's not just that, you know, because we've gotten other characters where they see things going bad and they're like, I can't do this anymore, and they leave. But I want to see someone who's like, you know, who actually does the work but is not good enough to climb up the ladders, but at the same time isn't able to leave, and is sort of kind of in this situation where he's, you know, being ground down, and then eventually realizing like, I did this to myself, and then try to find a way out. So I wouldn't mind a redemption, I just don't want it to happen early, because we've already seen that, and I would like to kind of see, you know, another example of what happens.
Yeah, he's got too big of a stick up his butt in order to be flexible enough to come back. I can see that.
Butthole puckered.
I'd love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have enough. If any show could do it right, this show is giving me faith that they could do a proper redemption kind of, you know, because we always get like, oh, they turned, the end,
and then they
like,
died.
Yes.
They died, or like, you know, like with Reva and Kenobi, we don't know what happens after. We don't know what she does to like make up for things. So I would love if they did go that route, and we actually see the progression. So while I don't want it to happen too early, I don't want to happen too late. Like it would have to be early enough, like, you know, they're doing it in these 3-episode things, even if it wasn't until like, you know, halfway through the next season, but then he needs a full arc of him working for that redemption. If they're not working for the redemption, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Well, I think they are actually. I think that what they showed in this first 3 episodes was his sense of justice, right? The higher up was like, listen, it was an accident. Just file a report. Don't stick out like a nail. And let's just call it a day. And his sense of justice is like, no, I'm going to, follow this to the ends of the earth until I bring this killer to justice. And so that's his baseline. That's his barometer. And by the end of it, he's going to see that his sense of justice leads to something horrific that happens with innocent lives. And he's going to see the other side of his decision to not look the other way, so to speak, right? His baseline is someone's asking him to look the other way. He's like, no, justice, I need to not. And then later on, something's going to require for him to look the other way, and it doesn't, something tragic happens. And that's where he has to take an introspective look on what it means to have justice, and I think I think they're definitely aiming for that for sure. Let's
One of the things I do. Go ahead, Suhaila.
Oh, I was just going to say, there's also his loyalty to his fellow man, so to speak. Like, he's loyal to his team, and part of the reason he wanted to go find the killer was because it was, his own people being murdered as opposed to, citizens murdering each other. And that's kind of what I also want to see is his loyalty to this, corporation, and by extension the empire, essentially biting him in the ass, where they clearly don't care for him, and they're not going to have his back, even though he's shown that loyalty and proven that, and that might be a turning point.
Yeah, that's part of the journey. Actually, I forgot to mention that. Thank you for that. His sense of justice is going to lead him into the empire, and that's what's going to lead to the tragedy, right? Because the empire, of course.
I personally hope that he doesn't get into the empire, but the abuse of power that the corpos have been levying onto others, I hope that gets done to them by the empire, because it's a hierarchy. Yeah. So the empire can do exactly to them what they've been doing to everyone else, and I want them to be like, is this what it feels like? And then he's gonna have to decide if he's gonna keep licking them boots or not.
Yeah.
All right, really quickly, I need to know if this is too loud.
It's pretty loud.
Really? Okay, hold on. What about now?
Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so okay, let's catch up with the chat really quickly before we run out of time here. Do you think we're going to get a Fulcrum, Ahsoka mention, or reference in background or conversation?
Is it bad that I don't want to?
Oh.
I love Ahsoka. I feel like I need to say that after saying that. I love Ahsoka, but I kind of don't want that up in here. A mention's okay. I guess a mention's all right.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of loving that we've distanced a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And, if we weren't getting a whole show that's Ahsoka, I think I'd feel differently. But since we are.
One whole show, one half show, and...
Yeah. I think that's where I land too. I mean, I'm pretty it's a pretty big part of the rebellion, right? So I think we're gonna get a Fulcrum mention. I don't think they're gonna go so far as to say anything about Ahsoka, though.
I can see that.
I think there are other people I'd rather hear mentioned. There are other people involved in the rebellion that I'd rather hear some. I don't need to see them, but just mentions of
Lux.
I'd like to know that they're being recognized, but I don't think Ahsoka hits the top 5.
You think Corky is in the rebellion?
Maybe 10. That would be cool.
Be careful. You're gonna mess around and summon Julia Christine.
That's what I was waiting for. I want to know where Cassian's sister is.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a story that's going to be really interesting.
And
I have
part
a
of
really
me,
sad theory.
oh, see, I do too, but I want to hear yours. If that's okay.
Yeah, no, I don't mind sharing. I was going to make a video about this anyways. But yeah, my sad theory is that Marva never actually told him what happened to everybody else on the planet. And I mean, by the time she like takes him and they, go live somewhere else, there's a language barrier, so it's going to take time for them to start understanding each other. At which point he's going to already trust her because she's going to be obviously taking care of him. But yeah, so I don't think she's going to tell him that she knows, or at least has a very strong feeling of what happens to everybody else on that planet, aka they, whoever is coming, whether it's the Republic or Separatists, are going to come and get rid of everybody who was there. And then that's why he's been looking for his sister. And in this show, at some point, we're going to have Marva probably like really injured or about to die, confessing that to him. And I think that's why there's no mention of his sister, and he's not looking for his sister in Rogue One. So he either accepts that, or, he actually finds out that she's gone. Or maybe she still survived, but I think that there's going to be this moment between him and Marva of like this realness that's going to kind of break their relationship a little bit.
Damn,
That's interesting. Yeah.
Get out.
I don't want it to happen. It's sad. It's heartbreaking.
We
But
find
that's
out
where
sooner
my
or
mind went
later
as soon
that
as I saw her like taking him and like what she says in that scene, and I was like, oh.
if I Google Andor writers, would Suhaila's name be on there in the results?
I'm not nearly good enough.
I don't know why our brains go to like the worst case scenario, because I'm sitting there going, okay, well, he tracks her down to a brothel and she was there for a period of time apparently and then leaves. So she's doing whatever she needs to get by or to get wherever she needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
And all I could think is, especially because we're seeing very gray point of views from each character, what if she ends up working on the other side? What if she ends up working for the Empire? When he finds her, that's where she is. Because she's been convinced, just like the people who are, people like Cyril who think that they're doing the right thing. She's like, this is the right thing. This is the best thing. She doesn't recognize that those are the same kind of people that destroyed her people on Canary and everything else. Or she's just resigned to, if you can't beat them, join them. And so they end up, he finds her and they're on opposite sides.
I was actually kind of leaning towards the same thing where she could be like, growing up with such chaos, and then one day my brother went missing. This galaxy needs order for the Empire, and you're like, no.
And she may not want to listen to him because she may feel abandoned by him.
Yeah. Well, it could be the Republic that, Marva was saying is coming. Instead of killing everybody, they like take them, and then that turns into the Empire, and so she's already, clogging that machine.
Mm-hmm.
Also, real quick, I want to shout out what Lauren said. I said the same thing on Wednesday. I need a mention of the delegation of the 2000, and I want someone to say Padme's name.
Yeah.
It's crazy we haven't gotten
say her name.
Her name being said this entire time.
Also, that theory or that speculation on Andor's sister sounds a lot like Tamara's arc in Resistance. If you have not watched Resistance, I'm telling you guys, watch Resistance. You guys won't regret it. You'll regret it for the first 5 episodes, but then after that, you'll be like, oh, okay. I'm just being honest.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm making my way through the animated series. I'm on really close to the end of season 4 of Clone Wars. So I'll get there.
Okay.
You're in the good stuff now.
Yeah, make sure to follow at Pod One's podcast too. If you get to the Rebels, they're covering Rebels on their podcast too. So, if you get to Rebels and you want to talk about it for sure, they're talking about it weekly. I think they just covered the Old Masters, so I think that's what season that? Season 2, season 1 still.
I think they're still in season 1.
Okay. St. Pat says all security guards in Star Wars except for Alderaan are scum in Star Wars. Speaking of St. Pat had a really good call out earlier in the week. Marva calls those people Republic when they're taking Andor, but their logo is Separatist.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're just kind of like blending the two together, or like they just don't know if they're Republic or Separatist.
I heard somebody say that it could be that they're undercover. And I have a feeling that whatever backstory that they are, reading off of the files is some sort of cover-up. Obviously, the parents are all dead, but, this mining accident, everybody's dead, the planet's toxic, don't go. kind of thing seems kind of fishy. And it's also interesting that they were wearing gas masks, but they were also yellow. So I don't know whether it was like that ship had something toxic in it. Because as B was coming in, he was checking like the air quality inside of the ship, not outside, like in the atmosphere. So I wonder if it's something undercover, or it could be something separatist, and she just got confused. I don't know. Hopefully they tell us.
I think we're gonna get that answer in the very next episode. But either way, they did say that there was a Republic dropship inbound, and that I do believe them for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also wonder, was that ship shot down, or did something just blow on the ship and then they landed? Because I couldn't quite tell.
It looked like a yellow explosion from inside the ship.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. If we get a Galen Erso scene with his sister, I'll be devastated.
I'm trying to think of timelines right now.
We also could have, we know Saul's going to show up, and we could have someone ask, "Where's your daughter?"
I'm getting through Rebel Rising, and I just got to the point. I don't know if anybody hasn't read it, but I guess spoilers when Saul leaves her, and I almost don't want to keep reading. But,
please
I was
do.
hoping.
Yeah.
I'm going to, but I was really hoping that we would get some sort of mention of Jin in the show, given that Saul's going to be there. But now I'm kind of probably not.
It could.
I mean, the timing is fresh. It's the same. Isn't it the same year that Jin is no longer with Saw? Wasn't that also 5 BBY? And the show starts in 5 BBY.
It's around the same time. So it could be very much that Saw shows up and he's abandoned Jin because he doesn't want anyone to figure out who she is. But there are people who knows he had a daughter somewhere. There was a little girl who was always at his base for the past few years. So I think we can get that mention.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you finish the book, yours gonna be sad, but it's good in a good way,
Yeah.
I mean, in general.
Yeah, I'll definitely finish it, but it was
Star Wars is sad.
It is.
Marva's gonna pull a Yoda and almost miss dropping the sister's location before her soul dips. What's up, Ven? How you doing? They also say the fact that her name has not been said in a decade is disrespectful. Someone write that in, please. I think you're referring to Padme.
Yeah.
Yeah. They gotta say it. It's like the Anakin thing, right? With the sequels, they didn't say Anakin, and everyone thought that they were scared of it. But come on, man, they were doing Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I thought that was way different in the sequels. That's a little like not mentioning Hitler's art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has a long legacy, and it's not good amongst the galaxy.
Yeah, and I think very few people kind of saw the good side of him at the very end also. And it really didn't see, but there was kind of that redemption towards the very, very end, but very few people actually knew about that. So I can understand his name not being dropped. But Padme is just such a, really prominent figure in the Senate, galaxy-wide, right? So.
Yeah. What are you guys hoping for episode 4? What do you think is going to happen? I know we like to, steer clear of expectations and stuff, so we're not disappointed, but where do you think, what are we going to see next?
I'm just trusting the process right now. Like even when I like see certain things that I'm like, ooh, we don't know what this is. I wonder what it could be, and I might come up with a little, maybe it could be this in my head.
Mhm.
I like when it's already being, to me, I'm really loving the way they're doing this show. I think they're doing a fantastic job, and so I just want to be along for the ride. Like I don't really, so I'm not thinking too much. I want to hear what the next musical theme is since they change them every show.
Yeah.
So like I'm really looking forward to that and seeing how that, because everyone is tying so perfectly into this, like they're telling a story at the beginning of each show, and it's really cool to see them do that. And I know that they're supposed to continue to do that for every episode. We're going to get a different, slightly different theme. So I'm looking forward to that. But outside of that, we'll see where he ends up with Luthen, and I'm just happy to be watching.
That's a valid answer.
Thanks.
What about you, Suhaila? The same thing?
Yeah, I'm trying not to like set up expectations, but like kind of inklings of probably what they'll show, right? Like Andor's on its way to something to do with the resistance, right? And I kind of want to see. I know I mentioned this already, but Daryl kind of deal with the repercussions of what happened, at the very least from his, well, I keep saying manager, but I guess his CO. I don't really know what the terms are for security. But yeah, like, because he disobeyed a direct order, and if he had caught Andor, it wouldn't be as big of an issue, but not only did he not catch him, a bunch of people died, and so there's going to be fallout there, and so I kind of want to, just for my own satisfaction, see him kind of have to deal with some repercussions. But I'm also like not really setting up any expectations. I also know that this is going to be a multi-season show, and so I'm like, they're going to tell this, they're going to tell the story kind of how they think is best to tell it, and like the first 3 episodes were phenomenal. So I'm trusting that they're going to tell us the story in a way that makes sense.
Well, as you mentioned that, just a quick yes or no from both of you. Do you think Saw is going to show up next, or are we riding this slow wave right now? Saw in episode 4 or no?
I was initially thinking that's maybe where Luthen's going to take him, either to Saw or Mon Mothma, but now I'm kind of like, I mean, maybe not. Andor really, his only concern is like, leave. He's not really looking to go join the rebellion or anything, and also like Luthen's like trying to recruit him, and so there might be a little bit of time before we get there. Maybe Luthen trying to like convince him or something like that, but I wouldn't mind either way.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no to the episode, but yes to the 3-episode arc.
Okay. Antonio says, hey, Amber. Short willow beef. What about you, Choco?
Listen, I'm only watching for one reason and one reason only. And if Matt Murdock does not show up in the next episode, I'm so sorry. I just
I thought you were gonna say Vader.
You're gonna give me PTSD.
I don't see R2D2 in this show.
No, I don't need that stuff, but I'm really excited to experience spy school with Cassian. You know what I mean? We already got the first like 2 lessons. How many lessons are there? They're like, I want this in a book. You know, I might make a frame it on my wall. It just says step 1, make your exit on your way in.
Step 1 is
Cassian Andor.
So that's what I'm most excited for is to go through spy school, and to get the rest of his his background. I want to find out what happened on that planet, what happened to those kids. That whole thing has me really like gripped into the show. Also, just really quickly, because do you think his nickname being Casa is a nod to Spanish casa being home, and he doesn't really have one, but they're home to each other?
I didn't make that connection, but now I'm gonna cry. No, that's such a cute connection, Choco. There. Yeah.
I think so.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did it on purpose. I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah.
Oh, especially with like how his sister calls out his name too. Oh man.
Yeah.
Also, those actors are phenomenal. Like both young Cassian and his sister.
They're so good.
Such a good job.
Just in general, every actor so far involved in this show is incredible.
And I thought it was
Even
really interesting
Petunia.
that they did develop like a little language for them to use with its own grammar and stuff. And they specifically didn't teach it to the adults so that they wouldn't know, but they were actually saying things to each other.
I love that they did not caption it for us.
Same.
That they did not translate it for us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we really didn't need it. We understood everything that was happening. And
Yep. And it centered them instead of, for me, it centered them instead of othering them. Instead of we need to translate this into something we understand, it's not for you. This is for us, kind of. And I thought that was a really cool choice.
And being, having seen the holiday special, it's something I've grown used to.
So before we transition into our wrap up segment, which is Star Wars Pictionary, I hope you guys are ready to draw some horrible pictures, because well, we all do from week to week. Just really quickly, lightning round. Now that we've had several cameos in Bix and Luthen, I'm wondering if we're gonna get some more cameos in Andor. This is, of course, a trick question, because
I was like,
I was gonna say,
my favorite cameos.
I think it was Grace Randolph, right? Who said that people existing.
Easter eggs,
Oh, Easter eggs, yeah. What was your favorite Easter egg? Mine was for sure seeing a starship. I think that's a great Easter egg.
Seeing Andor first scene was not expecting that.
I wasn't expecting Andor at all.
I wasn't expecting a first scene at all. I thought they were just going to jump right in.
Why? Listen.
Crazy.
I thought it was going to be some sort of battle, two sides.
They surprised us with episode 1. Like, I didn't think we were going to get episode 1.
No.
So it's a great Easter egg. That's just a joke, guys. We are running out of time for Dyad in the Forest. You had a thought, Choco? Really quickly.
I've lost it, but that's okay.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, we're out of time, so we're just going to ramp down and decompress with a little Star Wars Pictionary. So get ready to play, guys. Don't worry, we're all playing with our mice or touch. So
I'm gonna grab a piece of paper.
we are not. This will be a judgment-free zone, of course. We're all gonna guess and draw horribly.
I am not capable of anything above stick figures. Every now and then, I might be feeling myself, but expect stick figures.
All right, so here's the invite for you guys for the Pictionary, and then let me set up the view for you guys on the stream. Let us go. We have Suhaila and Choco. And waiting for Amber. Oh, good God. Daredevil and Star Wars. The world has truly come to an end. Keep Marvel out of my Star Wars. We can't keep Marvel out of our Star Wars. What are you talking about?
They're the same universe, aren't they?
We already have Adria Arona. Right? Morbius. That's Marvel, isn't it?
That's Marvel. It's not MCU, but it is Marvel. I was just thinking of the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups commercials back in the day. Of like, you got Star Wars in my Marvel. No, you got Marvel in my Star Wars.
Amber, did you get an ad?
No, I didn't.
Did you get the link?
No, I got nothing.
Wait. It's so I put it in the Discord. The link to the game?
Okay, let me see.
It is in the episode thread with the call link. If not, I can always message you directly.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, because I don't have Discord on this laptop, so I only have it on my phone.
Oh, I mean, you can play on your phone. It might be easier to draw on your phone.
Let's find out. It's an adventure.
That's a
Stick
good
figures
idea.
gang. Okay, so Choco's stick figures gang. I'm the underscore gang. We're gonna have a gang war on Jita A. Yes, I'm here. While we wait,
Cassian Ender.
Every time.
there we are. We have user 2756. That's probably you, right?
That's me.
All right, we can get started then.
It's a beautiful name.
It is a beautiful name. Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. That's okay. Why would you start us with that?
Hera.
It is
A Twi'lek.
relevant. I can't
What-
believe I'm doing
Hera's
this.
dad's name.
Like a way better than a stick figure, Pep.
I'm gonna draw something
Wait.
that's going to possibly be a hint. We'll see.
Oh, what's her name? Wait, is she the one in Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but I can't remember her
Yeah,
name.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
I'm
that's what I
so
was
bad
like.
at
Why would
names,
you
by the
start
way.
us off with that?
Um,
Oh,
Let's see if I can give you guys a hint. There you go. That's all I can give you guys. Kid Fisto. That was your first.
Oh,
that's the
Garza.
name.
Whip?
Am I not spelling it right?
Oh, what happened? I got booted.
did you say Garza?
Oh, did you get booted?
I'm
Yes.
coming back in.
Oh, okay, Garza Flip. Yep, would not have remembered that.
Nope.
I thought it was a Z.
Zach's.
I like barely remember the main character's name.
Zach said Gamora. Let me know if you're able to get back in. We can always restart
Oh
it.
no. Jeez. Okay. How am I gonna draw this?
I'll once again sit here being somewhat salty that I'm probably the only Asian that can't draw. No, you're not the only one.
Oh.
Not yet.
Wait, listen. I said this was a mature show, but is that a?
Oh,
Wait.
what's her name? Mother or something? Telvin?
Oh, that's a good one. And it's also
Yes. So you have to type it in the little thing.
Oh. Okay. At first I thought it was somebody else from the Clone Wars, and then as soon as you started drawing those things, I happened to just have finished watching an episode with her in it.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear Suki like smacking her lips in the mic? Is that weird? It's not me. Okay. I can hear it like monitoring it.
Oh.
Oh, Suki.
How am I gonna?
You know what? I didn't think it was Mother Talzin at first. I thought you were. It was an encore of your Grievous drawing from Bruheim.
Hey, that was magical.
Can't draw.
Ooh.
A lightsaber? Oh,
Whoever,
I guess
the
I'm supposed to
person
type
holding
it.
it.
Oh.
I can't draw people. Oh, what does his hair look like? Okay. I was like,
Okay.
I can't draw him.
I got it though. Are you
You can have the hair.
are you able to guess, Amber?
I don't know. I thought I did, but
I
maybe.
mean, you did rejoin. I see you.
I know. That's why I'm like, oh, maybe I wasn't in the.
I forgot what his hair looks like. Dang, how did I forget?
What's up, Obi-Wan Kenobi? You should have an answers chat that you can type into. I'm not sure what it looks like on mobile. I apologize.
Solo. No, it's okay. There is what looks like an answer chat, but I don't know how.
No
effective it is.
way. Oh, Jesus. I'm just going to give you guys a hint.
Oh, and Amber got kicked out again.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't like it on the phone for more than a little bit.
Yeah, I've also been getting a warning for inactivity.
I can't draw him, so I'm going to draw the...
Hello, Obi-Wan.
Do you want me to DM it to you?
I have it in front of me. Let me just pull it up again. I just don't know why it keeps booting.
Oh, okay.
Is that Sheev?
Not really, but you'll get it. If you think about it.
What? Is that not how you spell it? Okay.
Just think about what we've been talking about.
Oh! The thing. I know. I know, but I don't know
But
how
who
to
does
answer.
it happen to?
Yes. My favorite. That's who it happens to. Bodhi. But apparently it doesn't want me to answer in the chat.
I mean, we'll give it to you. I mean, if you knew
That's
who
right.
it was.
Yeah, it was
It
Bodhi.
knows the truth.
I'm in New Jersey right now. Hey, no, we're not all in New Jersey. We're currently in California. I don't know where Amber and Suhaila are at, but they're on the east.
Florida.
Florida.
I'm in Florida, waiting for the
Everyone's in
hurricane to
Florida.
come.
It's either California or Florida for mutuals that I know, and some in New York.
Weird bird legs.
Got it. I just have to tell you, the ears are much bigger than that. And they are pointy.
Oh man. I think I know who it is. I can't remember.
You've seen them in Mandalorian, that's for sure.
Meow.
Meow or meow?
Meow.
Meow.
In Star Wars, they say meow.
It was supposed to be a little cat.
Okay, well that's what I thought it was, so that was good.
It seems like it likes to boot you, or maybe your phone's
It
going
seems
to...
like at the end of every single one, it boots me, and then I have to pop back in.
And so in that case, it's not allowing you to draw, huh?
I guess I don't know if it's maybe because I'm a random user instead of a
I cannot draw.
signed in one.
That's the ghost that chases Mario, right?
Oh, I know what. So I know that there's like an idle checker that like it asks you, are you still there? And then it boots you. So you might be like missing that. I don't know.
Okay.
What?
Sorry. I'm trying to get the color. I'm
just-
careful.
Okay. So it was that.
Okay.
I was just saying what to Choco
that was
getting it in the
supposed
first. Oh,
That was
okay.
supposed to be Palpatine's face.
I
I was like, okay. Oh. I know what it is.
Oh,
How does
my
it
brain is not working. The
how's that close? That's it.
I know what it is. I just can't remember the name.
yeah, same. I'm like, it looks exactly like what it is,
Yeah, I know what it is.
but my brain is not functioning.
There is a qualifier in front of it. I'll give you guys a hint.
Okay.
There you go. Obi-Wan,
You got it.
Kenny?
Oh,
It is the Jedi
okay.
Holocron.
Close.
Yeah, the qualifier is there because the Sith one looks different.
That makes sense.
The Sith one is a tetrahedron.
Okay.
I enjoy your plight, Choco, when you go, oh no. What is that, an amoeba?
Whatever it is, it's got a little smile. He's so happy. Oh,
Oh, we've got
Oh,
color.
it's got color.
is that
Sag says happy.
It's not-
is that
Huh?
Come on.
what?
it's what I think it might be. Is it? Hold on.
Are
I
you
don't know if I
done?
know how to spell that.
Yeah. It's look at the colors.
Oh, that's what I was thinking, but
Oh, that doesn't look like the right amount of spaces.
What?
My guess was definitely not right. but I like my guess.
What was it?
Zori Bliss.
Oh my gosh. Her helmet doesn't have eyes?
I guess it
It
has a
was a-
five.
it was-
Obi-Wan got it.
It was a really good Kiadi Mundi.
Yeah. It's obviously Conehead, guys.
I didn't know either one of those. Oh,
Oh,
Oh, so yeah, you do have to
oh, sorry. I thought it.
really quickly.
Sorry about that.
Amber's gonna draw.
man. Okay. I thought I got out of this. All right. Let's see.
Hold on.
Really,
Is
really bad.
That, is that
Cassian Andor.
okay? They're happy. What?
Maybe I
Yeah,
shouldn't.
with the Kit Fisto guesses too.
Yeah, well, it was happy, and he has tentacles. Of course, I would guess. Fisto.
No, not. Never mind.
Medusa's not canon to Star Wars.
This is so bad.
It's got a wiffle bat.
Maybe he shouldn't be so happy.
That's just Joker now.
I was feeling a little too optimistic.
Um.
What? I don't know.
Dang, I don't got it.
What is it?
Who is it? What was it?
No, I don't even want to say. It's so
Just say
bad.
it.
Quinlan Voss.
Oh no!
Oh, I can see it now.
Yeah, now I can see it.
Don't pay attention to the circle.
He shouldn't have been so happy
Pay
though.
attention to the circle.
Good job, Ven. Ven got it.
Thanks, Ben.
There you go. That's it right there.
Am I spelling it wrong? I am, aren't I?
Oh.
Yep.
Now it's looking like something I
Suddenly
draw.
I can't spell.
Hey, stop. Yeah, me too.
Double L, double N.
It's rock and roll, right? No,
Somebody stepped on Mickey Mouse.
it's a.
Oh.
It's a really gross Vulcan hand salute.
Just making it worse. Double L, double N.
Oh, that's good. There we go. Thank you.
So, Obi-Wan said Kessel Run.
So now we know we can't draw and we can't spell.
Right?
Oh
Learning
my goodness!
So much about myself.
Oh,
Supermassive black hole by the Muse. Got it. I'm great at this. You are, because that's how I would draw a black hole as well, Kenny. I don't like where my mind went after that. Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah. I was like, it has to be, but also
What's their other name?
her other name. I love how you keep adding features.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta all get this one. I can draw. Oh no.
She knew immediately. Oh no.
How do
great
I
pumpkin.
make this bigger? Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's supposed to be a beard.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna. Hopefully.
Yay!
Like, how do I get it to look more like a?
Cassian Andor.
Oh god. There you go. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna screenshot this because if I ever meet him in person.
That's amazing. Man.
I'm so glad we got that on the Andor episode. Well, it's going to be an Andor episode.
I know.
I cannot draw from memory.
Oh.
Got it. I like how you drew Grogu just to be like, no, not him.
Yes. Not him.
All right.
Nice.
Well, there we
I
go.
like how he looked like the Black Knight from Monty Python.
That is, hey, that helmet is iconic as well. Oh dear. I hope you guys had fun. Thank you guys so much for coming on to Dyad in the Force. That's a favorite segment.
Understandably.
I was glad we got Cassie and Andor as one of the answers. That's always serendipitous.
Cassie and Andor.
Gonna have to do it.
Not while I'm drinking.
Cassie and Andor. All right, so we are out of time for this episode of Dyad in the Force. I want to thank Suhaila and Amber for joining us on this episode and talking episode 1, 2, 3. Of course, you guys have an open invitation to any open slots for any of the future episodes, as well as the watch parties that happen on Tuesdays at 11:30 p.m., which is very late for you guys. But if you guys have the willpower, you're always welcome to join us. Let's give a shout out to our Dyad Squadron members, without which we could not continue to do this week in and week out. Thank you guys so much for the love and support, as well as shouting out other podcasts. We have Brooke, first and foremost, farfarawayfactory.com, maker of the one and only Satil Shan shirt that exists in the Star Wars fandom, and I have it, and I love her for that. So follow her on TikTok _bdazzler_, which is this, if you don't know, that's the underscore gang, as well as farfarawayfactory.com. We also have Fulcrum Transmissions every Monday at Fulcrum Pod on Twitter and TikTok. We have the House of Holocrons every Friday. Dex and Download on YouTube and House of Holocrons on Spotify. Kessel Run Relay, we just had Stardust M, Hayden, and Olivia on in previous weeks. They should have on Monday their Andor episode coming up, so stay tuned for that. Find them on Twitter at Kessel Run Relay. Then Beings of the Galaxy by Camilla or Barikwa Wookie at Beings_podcast on Twitter and Beings of the Galaxy on Spotify. And a newcomer to our rotation, Podwans Podcast, live on Thursdays at 5:30 Pacific. Audio versions available the same day. That's great info. Shout out to Luke, Char, and Harith at Podwans Podcast. And of course, our good friend Cal, who's streaming right after this episode is over on twitch.tv/Cal4. If you guys want to have fun, hang out while we play games, go do that. But that'll do it for our wrap up promo for other podcasts. So Hyla, if you have any final thoughts or any plugs, if you want to tell people again where they can follow you and find your content, go ahead.
Yeah, final thoughts. I'm excited to see where this show goes, and I'm glad that we're getting a long form live action show again. As to where people can find me, I'm on TikTok at .suhaila, SUHAILA. I also recently started a Twitter. My handle's on the screen, and I'm going to start up a shop, so I'll announce it when it's live.
Awesome. And Amber?
On Twitter at Amber West, and on TikTok Amber and Medina. And final thoughts, no thoughts, just Andor. And that's pretty much it.
So your final thought is literally
Cassian Andor.
Exactly.
okay. And Choco, any final thoughts and plugs?
Yeah, just check out the High Ground podcast. Last Wednesday was awesome. This upcoming Wednesday, we should have Nathan Messer and my goodness, why is name not coming to my mind? And amazing cosplay. Jen Markham will be coming on,
There you go.
and then there are a couple other guests that are not quite confirmed, but it's going to be a good time, especially if you're like right after watching it and you need someone to talk to you about it. Come join us at Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, just keep loving Star Wars.
Absolutely. And with that said, that is the end. On to the next one.
For light and for life.
We are all the Republic.
And Cassian Andor.
That's right. May the Force be with you. We came up with it before Podwans.